And
we start off, and then the next thing you guys say is,
No, it's just the many issues that we're facing, you know. Many issues.
Yeah.
Now we're told that we need some $1 billion to increase the supply of dollars in the system so that we can, address the fuel problems that we're facing.
So the money is that the Bank of Ghana pumped into the system too. And I've always asked that question. What does it mean when the Bank of Ghana says we are pumping money into the system? Or when government says the Bank of Ghana is pumping money into the system? Because I remember that money was pumped into the system again to keep the CD afloat.
Yes.
We have still not heard from our 40-member committee, the FX committee. You remember? Franklin Kujo, Great Minister, all those people who were put together, 40-member committee, to see how to raise the CD. Because this time we decided not to pray, we decided not to fast, we decided not to call the CD back alive, we decided to form a committee of experts to raise it. So, where are they? What are they reporting to us? Because if you put together a committee, the committee should be able to tell you that this is what I've been able to do thus far, and this is the effect of what I was trying to do. So we should be made to know. I don't believe that every now and then we're told, it is not what you think. We're just trying to push money into it to get it. But I don't believe that. Because if you look at our inflation, we are importing more than 70% of what we consume, which means that we would need the foreign we need a dollar to be able to import these things. What it means is that they weaken our city. And when you ask the question, okay, government says we have established X number of factories. The question I ask is, what has been the impact of these factories on the situation we have? Such that on your list of 43 or so items that you were going to take the benchmark values off, which of them do you produce here? And how much of it do you produce such that it can cater for the needs of the society or the community? Which would then mean that we won't have to import, and which would mean that then you're consuming locally and we are saving money. It's basic economics. I'm not an economist, but this is basic. So if you are not producing, you have to buy from outside. If you're buying from outside, you're spending more. If you're spending more, it raises your inflation. If it raises your inflation, your pocket goes dry. That's where we are now. That's the reality. So we should stop bluffing, like Dr. Nyawuta Maklo said, because we like to bluff too much. And people say, oh, you never see anything good about the government. Because if you say you have cooked food for me, and I come to the kitchen, I can't find the food, but I can only think about the food, and I'm still hungry, why should I be praising you? Why?
There's been a lot of pushback when it comes to issues of accountability. And Johnny, as you say, this idea that the ordinary Ghanaian only wants to criticize and doesn't want to praise, we're only speaking to our reality. And sometimes officialdom is far removed from that reality. That is the truth. Yeah. So when people complain and they're lamenting, it's almost as if we're living two different realities. I don't think the average Joe wants to wake up and be bitter, annoyed, angry for no reason. Who doesn't want to wake up to the best roads? Who doesn't want to wake up to great news, to a stable city, to a stable economy? I don't think we're just, crying foul for no reason. People are speaking to the stark despair that they're feeling. It is the truth.
Yeah. And you see, the question about TOR always keeps coming up. Because as a nation, we produce about 200,000 barrels of oil a day. Now, if you look at statistics, in April 2021, it says that we imported about 202,000 barrels of crude into the country for April 2021 alone. So that means that we're even producing more. And if we're able to process what we're producing, there may not even be a need for us to import. We'd rather be exporting already processed fuel, and that will give us a lot more money. What are we doing about that? Because otherwise we're always going to have to deal with and rely on the fact that we have to trade in dollars. So if the dollar goes up, then we're in trouble, and our city will keep depreciating. Meanwhile, we have the opportunity to process our own oil.
It's still losing in excess of hundreds of millions of CDs. And yet, if that was a private company, a private entity that was making losses year on year, over 100 million, 200 million, sometimes 300 million in losses, such a company would not still exist. We're paying for that every liter of fuel you buy to sustain an entity that is making losses every year. It is worrying.
You know the interesting thing? TOR, like all the other state-owned enterprises. They are declaring losses every single year. We continue to pay their chief executives and their deputies all the perks. We give them their cars, we give them their accommodation, we give them clothing allowance, we give them feeding allowance, we give them bodyguards, we give them cooks, we give them garden boy, we give them everything they deserve. Now, the simple question I ask is, if I work somewhere and I continue to declare losses, I will get pay cuts.
Exactly.
I mean, I will be pushed into a certain corner so that I know that, well, I'm not making enough to fund all the largesse I'm getting. So until I'm able to make enough to cater for me, I don't get certain things.
Yeah.
But our government is not doing that. So the CEOs you have put there, they don't see the need to turn around the situation. It doesn't make sense to me that people are declaring losses, like you're saying, and then we are still pumping money into it, and we are not telling them that, look, you need to up your game. We are not sacking them. We are not replacing them. We are just pumping money that we say we don't have into it. It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense
If
to me
my
either.
small company that I have is always declaring losses, and I'm always making losses, I would have to think
You
again.
have to cut down, exactly.
Okay, what's going on? Is it, am I spending too much on internet that I'm not benefiting from? Am I spending too much on electricity or too much on water? Have I employed people who come and just serve the internet and go home? I will do some introspection, which is why we put together SIGA. Now, since we put together SIGA, what has been the story? What has changed? What has changed from Asamoah Boateng to Ambassador, what do you call it? Ambassador Boateng now. What has changed?
Anyway.
Well, as always, many questions, no answers. But Felicity Ahafianyo, chief forecaster with the Ghana Met, is on the line to tell us about the weather today in the capital and beyond. Felicity, good morning to you.
Good morning, Helen.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're well. What can we expect for the weather today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, and I hope you guys are also doing very, very well. For the weather today, it's a good news for all of us. It's going to be pretty cool across the 16 region. We are not expecting much rain activity, so we can brief today and then wait for the next one that will happen. Over the satellites, we can say that we don't have any colored portions over us at the moment. It's just going to be cloudy over the capital and part of central region. And then over the sea, we are having just some few patches of rain clouds and then some low clouds over those areas. So in terms of the satellites, we don't expect much activities for today through to the early hours of Friday. In terms of the temperatures, we are anticipating it to be in the lower 30s across the 16th region. It's going to be between 30 to 32 over the southern sector. The capital is likely to record 32 today. Those of us over the north will record between 34, 36 degrees Celsius. The state of the sea will remain rough, but where we don't have massive rain clouds. So fisher folks can go for fishing and then do it moderately. Over the water lake too is also pretty cool for fishing activities for today up to late afternoon, where those of us over Kwame so will likely have some rain and thunder clouds. All through this day, as we can see, there's nothing much to worry our heads about, just some few rain clouds that will be forming over just some few places. So tomorrow, before we bring you an update, there's going to be some cloudiness that is likely to result into some mist and fog patches over the forest area. So motorists that will be using the road have to be much careful. So this is going to be to the mix tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much for that, Felicity, and do have a wonderful day.
All the same.
All right, a cool day for all of us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
cool day for all of us.
Good weather.
Quickly. Honorable Kojo Chumbuafo is a former boss at the Free Zones Authority. Today is his birthday. He's 53.
okay.
It doesn't look his age. Kojo
Happy
Chumbuafo.
birthday, sir.
Happy birthday to you. 53 today. Also to Isabella Avemega.
It's your birthday today. It's from Adam, who works here at Media General Sales. It's from him and all the children. Well,
it's
happy.
Miss V's birthday. She's 30 years today.
Oh.
And she's getting ready to launch her album.
Nice.
So happy birthday to
Well,
you.
happy birthday, Miss V. Welcome to the third floor. That's what they call it.
Yeah, exactly. And also to Solace the Siren.
Yeah,
She
Solace.
works
Solace
with us.
Rosporte.
Yes, it's her birthday
Solace
today.
Rosporte.
Happy
She used to work with
birthday.
us here on New Day.
Decided to bugger.
Yeah, she's bogged.